Anyway, welcome back to Great Scott Marcus. We're talking about going it alone. So I want to put a different kind of spin on this. You want to bring up going to movies, bars, restaurants. You know, going and eating alone. And I just kind of wanted to, I guess, kind of do what we have done again, with just a bit of added value, where it's just like, it's okay to be single. It's okay to kind of not be beholden to anyone, and to be really happy with yourself. You go. There's
coffee.
There's something that I want to say, but I need to find the words to say it. So
it kind of does coincide with what I was, first bring up. I texted you on, it was a Friday evening. I went to the bar down the street from me because Tigers were playing Indians, and I don't get those games through the MLB network because it's blacked out. So I go to the bar alone, and this is not the first time I've done it. It will not be the last time I've done it. And it's the first time that I've ever done something like that. It was kind of weird, like freaked me out a little bit. It was like, I've got no one to talk to. Like, what am I going to do? What are people going to think? Like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm there to eat some food, have some beers, watch some sports, and enjoy myself. And I remember the same kind of fear, crept up when, like, one of the first times I went to a movies by myself. And it was I forget which movie it was. It's been a long time, some indie flick, I'm sure. Where there's a whole 4 other people in the theater, and then are usually like one other person's by themselves too. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need someone next to you to like make a funny or snarky comment about the film or whatever. Like, it actually gives you kind of a chance to enjoy what it is you're there to do fully. I'm there to watch the movie and appreciate different things about the movie. Of course, I like to talk about it with whoever I'm with, but at the same time, I'm not distracted. I'm not trying to think of a funny quip or like, oh, look at this detail that you missed, and then miss another detail by talking about the previous detail. And I guess like the same with bars and restaurants. I have a small conversation with a bartender or waiter and just shoot the shit a little bit. Fully pay attention to sports, or just kind of
having casual conversation with those that you're occupying the same space
people around
with.
you. Exactly. And it doesn't happen all the time. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've been in a bar, restaurant, and no one's come up to me. Bartenders say like 3 words to me, and that's it. But there's other times where if I'm talking to someone, or if I'm watching a game of some sort, it's kind of just bullshit a little bit about whatever's going on in life. And it's kind of fun to have those kind of micro conversations with people you'll probably never see again. it just kind of gives, a new light to the human experience.
I think the one that I haven't tackled yet is going to a restaurant alone.
Usually if I'm at a restaurant alone, it's at a bar. It's, I could go to like I said, Eddie. Yeah, exactly. I could go to Applebee's alone, but I would, again, sit at the bar by myself. I wouldn't
occupy a table.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
it's almost kind of rude.
I still wouldn't quantify that as going to a restaurant alone, because you're obviously at the bar. And yeah, I think that's the big one that I haven't done. As far as going to a bar alone, I can't remember what the fuck it was. But basically, I also just wanted to watch something, and I have no real need to have the sports networks. So it might have been a World Cup match or something. And yeah, as far as going to the bar alone, I think, I don't know, it's between the movies and the bar. I think I want to say that the bar is a bit easier because you can occupy yourself in more ways, whereas going to the movies alone, I guess I kind of stopped doing that even myself, because I just realized that, like, I really don't give a fuck about seeing movies when they come out, when I can just see them what is honestly becoming like 2 months later, or even at sometimes what seems like a month later. That might be pushing it, but our industry is moving really fast from like the theaters to, or not our industry, what the fuck am I talking about?
The industry.
The movie industry is moving really fast from movie theaters to disc or digital sales these days. And So yeah, I don't care. And yeah, as far as like the bar going experience goes, that's not that bad. But I think in general, as far as being alone, what I wanted to say was that like I'm not anymore, and we'll kind of talk about that in the topic. But like I don't know, just having consistent friends there, having you here on Sundays, or just having an ex around, or just having, you know, friends kind of occupying the same space more often. I don't know. When you have, at the very least, consistent friends, it seems a lot more comfortable to also occupy your own space, or at the very least for me, I've become a person who is a lot more easygoing about being alone. And that was a product of the 4 years of my life where I had to deal with living in pain. But even now, like, so there was a Warframe convention just yesterday where they revealed like some really big stuff where they're basically going open world and going to have like large scale battles and open world flight mechanics and very bunch of cool shit. And I can say that I'm already excited to have me time. Which sounds dirty, but
Scott's alone time.
You just made that so much worse.
I know.
Anyway, ew. So yeah, I guess as far as like this is gonna be a short one, but as far as going it alone goes, actually it's not gonna be a short one because how do you get there? I definitely think that there is this culture of be out, be around people, or you know, like even if you're at home, like find people to talk to, go on message boards, or you know, like if you're a gamer, play with other people, or you're if you're trying to establish a greater portfolio, you know, like reach out to people, talk about freelancing, you know, things like that. And how and when do you be comfortable? How do you become comfortable with going it alone without breaking both your legs? I didn't break both my legs. Anyway, so I think it's a tough question.
It's a matter of just getting over the fear of just that, like being alone. Like there's once you can
some people
understand
almost
that
seem like they never do.
Yeah, exactly. They don't. There are people that absolutely do not. They are stuck with another person like all the time. I mean, you see this a lot, like at least from what I remember thinking back in like high school or even college, like people that just are serial daters. And a lot of people continue that into their adult lives. I mean, you do you, that's fine. But at the same time, I am a believer that I think if someone does that, they always identify themselves by that other person and fail to recognize who they really are by themselves. So, you know, it is getting over that fear and somehow conquering that. And how to do that, I really don't know. I
think for me personally, a lot of it is becoming comfortable in a space, not even if it's your own space, but so like for me, being at this desk, as I've mentioned before, is kind of my own little slice of just nerd heaven, where yeah, like wherever this goes is always going to be kind of home to me. It kind of just started in college where I had a monitor and a laptop and connected the two of them, and because it was a very small apartment, and I had a bed and my desk and a kitchen and bathroom and closet, and that was it. And then even when I moved into a larger space, with like a big living room and couches and a TV, it was still just like, no, this is where I like to sit. And even when I had that much space in my own freaking room, you remember the house I lived in where like I had 2 chairs and a TV set up and these big speakers and bookshelf and fucking there was a fridge and a microwave. And yeah, I just always was at my desk, and it has just become kind of a part of me. Or I could also relate to working out at Planet Fitness, where like it's not my space, but it is my space in very much a sense where like I know a lot of the people there, and because some are just social, or sometimes I just feel like conversing, and yeah, it's I think in my mind a lot of it boils down to first you become comfortable in one space, even if it's not your own, and then eventually you probably just get there somewhere else on your own, because whether it's subconsciously or consciously, that is just kind of how it works out. For me, subconsciously was here at the desk, consciously Planet Fitness, or even I don't really have a lot of spaces these days, or even hell, your car is also a great example. If you have kids in school, you can and you have time after work, you pull up, you park, and maybe you just throw something on the iPad and you just lean back in the seat, or you have a memory set to number 2 where you just have a very comfortable position you found one day and you just decide to recall that. And yeah, I think that these are, I don't know why this podcast is very much becoming about being an adult. And
it really is.
And and I think that part of becoming an adult is becoming comfortable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I was thinking that, this idea of being comfortable with being alone is all about being comfortable with yourself to begin with. And then I was thinking, does one become comfortable with themselves? And I don't know, like it's, again, I think it's like one of those just weird cycles that it's like, it's hard to introduce something new to it, but at the same time, once you start it, it can keep getting better and better. If you're comfortable with yourself, then you'll be more comfortable around other people, and then those people will make you feel more comfortable and confident, and just so on and so forth. So it seems like it's just the idea of just trying to break that original mold of, like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going out to the bar by myself. I don't know. And that's kind of how it went for me. Like, I was just like, all right, well, I can't watch sports here, so I'm going to go where I can see it.
Definitely.
That was it.
Definitely for, like, heading to the bar or even a restaurant or a movie, it is just wanting something so badly where, like, okay,
I want to watch this movie. Everybody else sucks.
I really want, and I think there should also be that distinction between, like, moderately paced or fast food where you can just pick it up instantly and just sit down real quickly.
We're talking about, like,
exactly
being there for 45 minutes.
You sit down and the waitress comes over and 20 minutes passes and then you finally get your food, and then it takes like 10 to 15 minutes.
We're not talking about standing in line at Chipotle by yourself. Like, who gives a shit? Everyone does that.
Exactly. And yeah, for me, I don't know if I've ever found that sit-down restaurant where, like, and I've had some phenomenal food, but I don't know if I've ever found that sit-down restaurant where it's just like, this is so good that I have to come back here no matter what. And yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, I think a lot of, like, sit-down restaurants will have a bar area for single patrons because
you're alone. Get
exactly. Well, no, like, if you were to go to like a decent or nice, like, maybe not quite Applebee's, but fuck it, why not Applebee's? And say just one. Like, yeah, I'm like, table, sure. What if it gets busy? You're just one person at that one table, and all of a sudden you're kind of dicking people over on their tips because a family of 4 could sit there, spend 3 to 4 times as much as you, and then you're kind of, I don't know. I think it's kind of a dick move to be by yourself at a table of 4. That's why I think the bar is kind of the.
Well, they also ask for that reason because there are tables for 2. I don't think Applebee's is really the highlight of a place where you have tables for 2.
We're not sponsored by Applebee's.
No, but it's a good example that everybody can relate to, no matter where you're watching from.
Or like Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Is it?
There's a lot
nationwide?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's a lot of places for tables for 2, but table for 2 is that's a private setting too.
You don't think Cheesecake has tables for 2?
They do.
Okay, yeah, perfect. It's I think that even then that's ideal for a table for 1. How would you feel? Because I don't think this has ever happened to us or either of us. We go on dates at the same time. It's fine. I don't think this has ever happened to either of us. Where have you ever been stood up?
No, I've come close.
Really?
There was one day that was horrendous,
Oh
and
wow.
she was like 15 minutes late, and I was. I think I might
I
have told you
don't
about
think
that.
15 minutes late is horrendous.
That was just like the tip of the iceberg,
Okay.
man. Like this
Okay.
date was fucking
Oh,
awful.
that's all right.
Should I just get into it?
Sure.
Basically, Ramble Entertainment. Um,
Exactly.
I'll try to sum this up as fast as I can. At one
Why sprint
point,
to it? Enjoy it.
'Cause it was painful.
Okay.
Um, so the first warning sign is she was like 15 minutes late, and even though she told me she lived like down the street, like could like within 5 minutes walking distance, and was late. She ran into people that she knew, didn't
Oh,
introduce me.
come on.
They
Oh,
went up to the
wow.
bar for a drink, didn't invite me to come. And then, like, so I'm just sitting at the table myself. Like, I'm a friendly person. Like, I think when you're in this situation,
Wait. So at what point did they decide to go off to the bar? Was it after you guys were
Oh,
done?
no, we were at a restaurant, and like myself and this girl were like talking, and we had ordered drinks, and then she saw people that she knew, and they came over, and she's like, "Oh, hi, how's it going?" And I'm just sitting there, I'm like waiting for the introduction. Like, I don't care if this is a first date scenario. You just fucking do it. I've been on other dates before where girls have done that. Like, they've known somebody. Like, oh, this is so and so. This is Mark. Yeah,
Mm.
cool. Like, it's whatever. And so they came over, and then she's like bullshitting with him. I didn't get introduced, and she's like, "Let's get a drink at the bar," and like didn't even look at me or like include me at all. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, granted, I don't take shots, but the inclusion is nice.
Yeah. It's
And
it's kind of a courtesy.
yeah,
It's unfortunately like not to not to be rude, but like like
it's just like, yeah, courtesy.
it's
Oh,
it's
this is Mark. Like, hey, come get a drink
well,
with us. This is
I'm
so-and-so.
thinking
Like,
of a specific instance, but they might watch this, and it's not about like being rude and bringing that up, but it's like one of the having worked in a bar, or for you having gone to like a bartending school, one of the kind of common courtesies that I think most people who actually start working in a bar at is that like don't cheer someone who doesn't have a drink.
right.
Like if you guys if they got drinks and then came back over and then cheers and then you hadn't gotten your order from the waitress yet and they they like wanted to be like, hey, or cheers us, and you just be
Yeah.
like,
Awkward. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
It's just kind of like don't highlight what is lacking, really.
Right.
And yeah, there also shouldn't be an expectation on you to forcibly introduce yourself or like
No,
to
I don't
follow
think so either.
them.
But it's just
Yeah.
common courtesy.
No,
I think
exactly.
we can agree, and then later on,
Unfortunately, the thing about common courtesy is it sounds so much like common sense, and there's nothing
it's
common
not,
about that.
fortunately.
So
Then of course, like she was up there for like 10 minutes.
Wee.
Not kidding. Like with her friends, like, and I'm just on my phone then, like talking to my dudes, like, guys, what the fuck is happening?
I would
Sorry you were included. It was
I would I would
my
say
Apple
these
nerd group
days
chat.
I would have just gotten up and left.
I seriously debated for so long, man. I'm not even kidding. And then later on, I end up getting up to go to the bathroom. I come out. She's on her phone. Not like on her phone, like, oh, sorry. Like on her fucking phone for like 3 or 4 more minutes. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of
Awful.
so I assume this was kind of like a near first date scenario.
It was Tinder, Bumble thing.
And that's definitely one of those situations where it's just like you should kind of be cognizant of being around the person you're around, not like, well, kind of what unfortunately sounds like becoming absorbed by well, everything else that is around you. And too often, yeah, people definitely do that with their phones.
I'm not gonna like toot my own horn, but I'm a good date. Like, I am not like quiet or reserved. Like, I'll talk about anything. I make sure there's no awkwardness involved. It's just like, and for her to do that, I was just like, wow, this bitch is.
Careful.
Well,
But I think
yeah.
the thing I really wanted to nail was like, if you were stood up, would you stay and eat?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Depends on the restaurant.
Yeah, I think it would depend. It would also depend
Can I
more
Uber
on
home because I would get drunk.
more. It would also depend more on personal mood too, where it's just like,
Hmm.
am I having a good day? Do I want this to, like really sully this good day? I think that's when I would just be like, let's get some brew style pretzels. Let's, let's get, something great. Let's get something to drink.
Yeah.
Let's, make this the best we can because we're here and,
Mhm.
wasted the
It
gas to
would
get here or something. And
be very
yeah,
dependable on the mood. I agree. If you can elevate your spirits a little bit, and just stay and be like, oh fuck it, let's have some. There's some good food here. Let's have it. And glass of wine, bring the bottle. Celebrate oneness. Why not?
something like that. Let's get into the next ramble. Celebrate oneness? What the fuck?